Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe Maximal Wolfgang from the Beast Wars Transformers reissue line from Kenner, aka Hasbro. So this line is exclusive to Walmart stores. They've been doing a bunch of these reissues of original Beast Wars toys, and I'm excited for this one because Wolfgang is one I never had as a kid, so very excited to check him out. I love the retro-inspired packaging. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. We have a little bit of artwork up here of the robot mode for Wolfgang. And then, of course, he comes packaged here in the wolf mode. Spinning it around to the back, we have the instructions for transformation, and you have a little file card and everything. You also have this, like, very tiny little bio for Beast Wars in several different languages. And just so you can tell that it is definitely a reissue, we have a current date down here of 2022. Plus, I don't believe the Hasbro logo ever actually appeared on the original packaging for Beast Wars. It was always Kenner. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the packaging here, and we're going to take a closer look. So here is Wolfgang out of the packaging. I think he looks pretty good for the most part. Definitely mostly gray, a little bit of blue does peek through, which I think looks kind of cool. I will say that the color scheme really works. I think the blue and the black and the gray all really works well together. I like the little bit of green there for the eyes. I think the molding for the wolf head looks pretty good. You have some nice black paint there for the nose, a little bit of white for the mouth and the neck, and the front of the individual paws. He really doesn't have a ton of posability in this mode. The front legs are pretty much completely fixed. You have a little bit of posability in the back legs, but it's really just because of what will become parts of the robot mode. So these will become the robot hips. So you have a ball joint there, so you can kind of move that around a little bit. And then you do have to move the back paws for the robot transformation, so you have a swivel joint there as well. But that's really it. Tail's also in a static pose. I don't love the two giant screw holes right there on the side of the tail. Kind of makes displaying him from this side not really look so good, so really just display him from this side. But I mean, for the most part, you know, it's a 90s toy. I think they did a pretty decent job. It looks like a wolf. I think it looks pretty cool, and I do really like the color scheme. So we'll go ahead and get into the transformation. It's pretty simplistic. Real quick, also, I wanted to say he does come with these two anchor-looking missiles, and we can use them in the robot mode in a few different ways, so we'll come back to these in a minute. But starting off the transformation, they want you to flip down the robot arms at the elbow, and I'll just warn you now, my, I guess would be his right forearm, pops off a lot. It pops right back on, so it's not that big of a deal, but just something to be wary of. At this point, you can see there's a large seam right here, so we're going to unpeg that. Do the same over on this side, and then you can kind of see, there it goes. We'll just put it back on later. You want to spin these wolf pieces. That is a ball joint. You can kind of see it right there. So that's on a ball joint so that you can spin those down. At this point, we're going to flip down these panels like so, and then we're going to split the wolf head right down the center, and then this is going to hinge out to the side, revealing the head, but you can see the hinges right here. Before you push them too far down, you want to use this little ball joint to spin these around 180, and then they're going to kind of become shoulder pads. So spin that around, and then you want to rotate the arms back. He's got kind of a butterfly joint, but it's really just for transformation. So move that back, and then you can kind of do whatever you want with these wolf legs. If you want them to hang down like that, you can. If you want to kind of angle them back a little bit so they're out of the way, you could kind of flip them around like that. I kind of like to do something like about there. That way it doesn't really get in the way of the shoulder pad, but it's also not in the way of the forearm. So we have something like that. So I'm going to probably flip this a little back and then put this down like that. We're going to disconnect the tail. That's just going to completely come off and become a cannon. This whole back piece can come off. You can leave it on if you want. I'm going to take it off for ease of transformation, but you can leave it on if you like. At this point, we're going to rotate those back legs down, and then you want to kind of lift up this whole section here so that you have clearance. You have to make sure that both panels will hinge, and then you want to push this up into the body like so, and then we're going to come around to the back here and pull out these robot legs. And this is actually kind of cool. So these are going to come down and kind of sit flush with the wolf legs, and then this is going to come down and form the actual robot leg. So the wolf leg just kind of becomes the front part of the robot leg. So we're going to do that again. back here, flip this around, push that all together, and then we're going to reconnect his arm because that popped right off. I'm hoping that's just a QC issue with mine, but like I said, it pops right back in, so it's not that big a deal. And there we go. That is pretty much Wolfgang in robot mode. He's a little stumpy. It's not terrible, but I don't know. He does come off a little stumpy. Let's take a closer look. Here is the head. So if you're familiar with the original Beast Wars toys, they all had kind of like a monster face and a robot face. So this is kind of the monster face. Really nice pink paint there for the eyes. I think that looks pretty cool. He's got these kind of wings here. Now you're supposed to flip this up to reveal the robot face. And I do really like nice silver paint for the face, nice green paint for the eyes. But he has got a chin that would put Jay Leno, the Crimson Chin, Sentinel Prime, whatever joke you want to make, that is a chin. That thing is absolutely massive. When you're just looking at it straight on, you don't really notice it all that much. But as soon as you turn it to the side, it's like, wowzers. Now, I understand that was because they wanted that to line up. And as a result, I'm probably just going to use this face most of the time. But it is a good face underneath. I think the eyes and the silver paint for the face do look good. It's just that that chin is a little ridiculous there. So he does kind of have like a grimace, and I think he has like a white mouth there as well. It kind of blends into the silver, but I believe it is there. So we're just going to leave that down. So you have like a limited ball joint and hinge here for the shoulder pads, so you can kind of put them at a 45-degree angle if you want, or straight down. You have a little bit of option there. You have a ball joint here at the shoulder, as well as kind of a butterfly joint, but again, that's really for transformation. But you have a ball joint there, you have a bicep swivel, you have, I would say, probably 180 for the elbow because of the way it transforms. And then you just kind of have this ball joint to kind of move this piece around however you like. Nothing in the waist, but you do have a ball joint here in the hip. And then you kind of have a decent bend, maybe 90 degrees in the knee. But you kind of have to make sure to take both pieces when you do it so you don't leave one of them behind. These kind of just sit in the way, unfortunately. There's not a great place to put them, but they're not too much in the way. Now you can see he's got these two massive holes in his chest, and what they want you to do is take those missiles I showed off earlier, and you can actually store them there. Now the only problem is, while that looks kind of cool from that side, you just have these two pieces sticking out his abdomen. I would have rather it been the other way around, so that they incorporated this into his front. Because it sits a lot more flush and more seamless on the back, which is kind of weird. I would have rather had these poke out the back, but what are you going to do? You can go ahead and put that back piece back on after they're in there, though, which is nice. That way they're not just going to fall out the back, because otherwise there's nothing keeping them in there. They don't click into place. They just rest in that empty space. So if you take those off, they will just kind of fall out. But they are meant to be used with the tail cannon. So we can go ahead and plug this in. You just have to make sure to line it up. You can see how it has the notch there. And you can pop out, actually, I always do this. Yes, this is the handle, and this is the button. Half the time I'm trying to pull the button out, but that's not how that works. So you can hold on to that, and then you hit the button to fire. It's not the best. I mean, the spring-loaded, firing mechanism is not ridiculously strong, but it's not terrible. So it's actually, for some reason, it's getting stronger the more I use it, so that's kind of cool. You can go ahead and, of course, plug this into his fist. So there we go. And now you have this big back piece. So you can go ahead and plug this back onto the back like I showed. Has some really nice silver paint on the inside. Or you can take this section here and flip this around 180 degrees. And then you kind of fold out this handle a little bit. Now I will say, this has a little notch right there, if you can see it, that makes it seem like this is supposed to go all the way over and click, but they didn't build any kind of lip or anything into the plastic over there, so there's nothing for it to click onto. It definitely looks, and you can see I've already kind of stressed it out by originally trying to make it click because I thought that's what was supposed to happen. So I think that's just supposed to stop it. That's just supposed to hold it there. I thought that was supposed to click underneath. And I'm really just realizing how much I've stressed it out, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. So you can have them hold. Now, if you really wanted to, I guess you could leave it like this. and have him hold it this way, it would be a little bit harder to get the fist in there. But if you wanted him to use this as a shield, you could. But it's meant to be flipped around so that the silver part is facing front. Now, the only problem is because nothing really locks into place, this is moving like this, and this is moving like this. So it's very rickety, but you can absolutely have him hold it. Let's just go ahead and pop it into his fist here. And so he can either wear it as back armor, and let me zoom out so you can actually see what I'm doing. You can have him just wear it on his back if you want to just store it, or you can have him use it as a shield. And we'll go ahead and we'll load up a missile as well. So, you know, he's got some decent weaponry here. I like the shield. I like the gun. I think that's all pretty cool. I like how you can just store it on his back if you want to. So if you don't want him to use the shield, I just wish that it's all kind of... Oh, here goes the other arm. Forearms really come out easily. I just wish that everything kind of locked into place. I wish that there was like a lip there so that that would lock into place, and then it would hold a little bit better. But we can go ahead and pop that back there on the back. And let me put this forearm back in. I wish the forearms didn't fall out so easily. Luckily, they do just pop right back in. But I'm not a huge fan of the forearms on this. The color scheme, I think, looks great. Like I said, nice cohesive color scheme. I think that really works. He's got a lot of wolf kibble, though. I mean, I can get behind the shoulder pads. I think they work, you know. They don't really get in the way of anything. I can totally get behind that. I don't really like these pieces here hanging off the arms. I guess if I really wanted to, I could probably pop those ball joints off, but he'd still have giant ball joints sticking out the side. I wish the skirt pieces laid a little bit flatter. Not a huge problem. Can I attach this on the screw hole? He's got this big peg right here. I'm wondering if I can... kinda. You can kind of store the can in there. I don't think that was intentional, but it does kind of sit there. So yeah, he's okay. I mean, honestly, he's not my favorite. Like I said, he definitely wasn't one I had as a kid, so there's no nostalgia factor for me. But I think there are definitely more successful original Beast Wars toys, like the Cyber Shark that I reviewed previously. I thought was really fun, and I thought really worked. And he's not bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with him. It's just, I'm definitely thinking it's maybe some mold fatigue, that the fact that these don't clip closed as much as they should, and that's why the forearms keep falling out. But luckily, you can pop them right back on. It's just kind of a wonky little transformation, and he definitely has kind of a short, squat quality to him. But that might endear him to some people. I do like the way the legs transform kind of into the wolf legs. I think that's kind of cool. The chin is absolutely ridiculous as well. So there are good things about him. There are bad things about him. If he's one you had as a kid and you have a strong nostalgia factor, I'm sure you're going to love him as much as you did as a kid. If you're like me and you never had this originally, I mean, again, not to be mean, but I think there are better ones out there. But he does have some cool things going on. I do like the color scheme. I like both heads. I just think the chin is ridiculous. I do like how you can store this on the back or use it as a shield. I wish he didn't have so much wolf kibble. That's really my only problem. And I wish he had a little bit more articulation in the wolf mode, because these legs are static and there's not really any posing you can do there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, he's not bad. Like I said, for a 90s toy, I think there's definitely fun to be had. And if you have that nostalgia factor, then I'm sure you're going to love him even more. But judging him by today's standards, which again, isn't fair, but I don't think he would be. We definitely have come a long way. Let's put it that way. We've definitely come a long way. But if you're just looking for some fun Beast Wars nostalgic fun, you can certainly do far worse than Wolfgang. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.